Let's take a look now at how to forward an email message to a chat or a Teams post, actually a Teams post specifically. So the idea of this feature is very, very practical and very useful because the whole idea, or one of the major objectives of deploying Teams, is to use it to have more direct communications, both internally and externally, via the conversation post, and to minimize and reduce the amount of email communications you have, especially when an email becomes a conversation, whether it's an external conversation or an internal conversation. So think of the example where you receive an email from somebody outside your organization, and then you want to share that email with other people in your organization who need to be aware of it and may need to help formulate a response to the email message. What does that create? That can create just an explosion of emails going back and forth about the original message that came from outside. So instead, we're going to use this feature when an email comes to us and we want to have conversation with others about that email. We're going to send the email message directly into Teams. And so rather than having the conversation be based as a series of email messages going back and forth, the conversation about that email, that original email, is going to take place in Teams. So let's take a look at how this works. So we're going to go back to our Teams demo marketing channel, and I have an email. Let me actually go to that. So this is an email about a conference that I'm participating in, and you can see that it has an agenda attached, a Word document. And so I want to share this agenda with other people who are going to be going to the conference with me. And again, I don't want to forward the email. I want to send this over to Teams, and we'll have then conversations about it. So first thing I need to do in order to do that is I got to decide, where do I want to send this email message to? And in our examples here, we've been using this Teams demo marketing channel. That's where I want to send the email message to. So what I can do here is on that channel, you see the ellipse for more options. If I click it, these are different things that I can do with this particular channel. One of them is to get the email address for the channel. So if I click on this, and it's going to create a kind of an extended email address. You can see it there. It has a name in front of it, Marketing Teams Demo, and then in special characters. I don't really need to worry about that. All I need to do is copy this email address. So I copy it to my clipboard. I'm going to go back to my email message and do a traditional forwarding of the message. So when I click the forward button, now I'm just going to paste. I'll just do a right click and paste that Marketing Teams Demo email address. And it's not just going to the Teams demo, it's specifically going to go to the marketing channel in the Teams demo team. So then I'll go ahead and click the send button. And then we'll close the message out. And let's see, there it is. It almost instantly shows up in the Teams channel. So what you see here is it has, I forwarded the message, so put my signature in there because I was forwarding it. I probably should have taken my signature out of there. But it has a subject line, then it has the original message, and if I want to view the original email, I can click here. Let's go ahead and click there. And it's actually going to open it up. Okay. I don't really need to do that because I already saw the email message, but here it is just taking me back into Outlook and opening the message. So that's not really necessary. Well, I should say that because sometimes the message may be so lengthy that it'll only show you part of it here, and then you would click this to see the entire message, including the attachment. But as you can see here, the attachment has been included in the message, and now I have direct access to that. I can click to open it up, and it was, in fact, a Word document. So Teams recognizes that. I can preview it in Teams, or I can go in here and I can say, open it in the desktop version of Word or the browser version, as we saw previously. But the main point of all this now is that we can have a conversation in this channel about this particular email message. Now, one of the things that's important to understand is when I forward an email message to a team like this, there are no @ mentions, there's no tags. So I specifically will have to go in and I can do a reply to myself. So let's say I want to make sure that Marcia will be notified or tagged about this message. And it tells me you're replying to an email message and your comment will only be visible in Teams. I understand that. So let's go ahead and reply. So I'm going to just type in at, and then I'll tag Marcia. So at Marcia, select her name. And I could just leave it at that, but I'm just going to put FYI conference agenda. Send that off. And now by doing that, Marcia will in fact get tagged that that message is in here now. So she should go see and read it. So hopefully you can see the value of that in terms of, now we've taken that email message, put it into a Teams conversation, and then whatever internal discussion we want to have about it will all happen right here. And then at some point we may need to send a response to the email, the original email, back in Outlook. Of course, we can do that. So keep that feature in mind as you have your emails, and use it as a way to start to reduce the amount of email conversations you have internally and get them transitioned over to Teams-based conversations.